Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. Today we are going to discuss about a topic that is going on in news is regarding the protest in Maldives going on against India, which is also being called as India Out campaign. So in this particular video we are going to discuss about the whole details about this particular campaign, why this campaign was launched, why the people are protesting against the presence of India in Maldives, and also we are going to discuss briefly about the India-Maldives relationship and why India is important for Maldives as well as Maldives is important partner for India. So let us start and talk about this particular issue in more detail. And the campaign has been so intensive talk about India Out campaign that even the diplomatic staffs that represent Indian diplomatic staff that are present in Maldives, they have asked from the government to provide them with more security, otherwise they can be harmed. Apart from that, if you look at the current or present context in which we are going to discuss about this particular issue, is because recently the government of Maldives has decided to bring a bill in the legislature which will actually try to stop all actions that could negatively affect the relationship established between Maldives and other countries. So basically, they have not named India as a sole party, but they have said that this particular bill will try to stop such activities which can negatively affect its relation with all the foreign countries. However, it is only India with respect to this particular bill has been brought. And the reason why this bill has been brought, because recently there has been large scale protests going on in Maldives over the perceived proximity of the Ibrahim Solih. Ibrahim Solih is the current president of Maldives and is seen by many in the opposition parties as well as in the other sectors of Maldives population that he is very close to India, and that is why they are trying to protest against this perceived closeness of Ibrahim Solih government against India. And recent time also there has been some incidences or some events that has unfolded which have increased the intensity of India Out protest in Maldives. So we are also going to discuss about such increasing and such cases that has caused such increase in intensity. So first of all, we try to understand some important features of the bill that is being brought by the Maldivian government, the parliament. So they have said that any person or any individual or any group of individual who is engaged in portraying the government's image in Maldives in such a way that government is actually under military or politically or economically under influence of any foreign government, then that particular person or individuals as well as the parties can have to pay a 20,000 Maldivian rupiah as a fine, as well as they can get imprisoned for 6 months in the prison, as well as 1 year of house arrest is possible. Now the reason behind this is because the anti-government protests have increased in this time, which have accused the Maldivian government. Currently the Maldivian government is of party called as Maldives Democratic Party. So they have protested and have alleged that MDP is actually engaged in selling out the country to India, and this is the reason why the Maldivian government has been pressurized by the cabinet members to bring such bill in the parliament so that such kind of campaign can be decisively stamped out. However, there is also one problem that this kind of stances of Maldivian government actually can be problematic because it is in the violation of democratic norms, and opposition parties are saying that by bringing such bills or later on promulgating into an act is a kind of violation of democratic society, and it is a threat to the rights of political parties or political opponents to assert their views. So let us try to understand about the India Out campaign in more detail. So first of all, the main reason why India Out campaign was started in Maldives is because it targets the presence of military personnel that is operating aircraft. That means Indian government has helped Maldivian government by providing them with military help in case of any war breakout or in case of any internal rebellion or trouble breakout, and that is why some military personnel from India who are present there mainly because they are the one who know how to handle the aircrafts, handle the helicopters and all these things. So they are permanently residing in Maldives, and this is what Maldivian people and opposition parties do not want, and that is what they have targeted via this campaign. Second, because as the Maldivian opposition parties as well as the people who are leading this protest have clarified that this protest is not against the civilian population or against the diplomatic corps that is residing in the Maldives, but is basically to target the presence of military personnel against the presence of Indian military personnel in Maldives. However, as you know that anytime such campaigns are launched, even if the leaders do not want this campaign or do not want this protest to spread in other areas, there is a kind of insecurity that start to spread in the Indian expatriate population, especially large number of teachers, medicals, and as Maldives heavily depend on tourism sector, large number of hospitality sector professionals who belong to Indian origin are residing in Maldives. They are having a sense of insecurity. And as we discussed, there has also been instances where on the social media, the Indian diplomatic members have been targeted, and that also assuages the fear that later on, if the protest enters into a violent stage, they can be targeted physically as well. So, regarding all these backgrounds that is developing, if we try to understand that though the protest is going on for last 1.5 years, in the last 1 month there has been very sudden increase in the intensity of protest. So let us try to understand that what could be the reasons behind that. So first reason is that up to 2020, the protest that was going on in Maldives was largely an on-ground protest. That means people were protesting near embassies or protesting near government buildings. Later on, it has spread to social media platforms where a large number of threatening messages also started to circulate against Indian diplomatic population, Indian origin population, as well as the Indian military. Further, in 2021, the protest entered into its second phase, where from a civilian movement, it converted into a politically active movement. Now, why it converted into political active movement? So it is because of the involvement or presence of a leader. Earlier, the movement was leaderless. Earlier, it was only few group of people, civil society members were there who were engaged in protest. But in 2021, the former President Yamin, who ruled or who was the president of Maldives between 2014 to 2018, actually gave a leadership to this protest, and also he got tacit support from the China. So basically, a lot of journalists and the people who support India and Maldives believe that this is not a Maldivian protest, but this is a Chinese sponsored campaign by taking help of the earlier leadership of the Maldives. And the reason why President Yamin is heading this protest or giving voice to the protest is because during those times when he was the president of Maldives, he was known to take many pro-China stances. He even tried to pass several legislature which could have severely benefited, which would have seriously benefited China as far as their presence in Indian Ocean is concerned. And also he has a pro-Saudi Arabian instance and pro-China instance. And however, he was slightly averse in developing relations with India. Not only that, if you try to understand how this can be connected to the future events. So actually in Maldives in 2024, domestic election is going to be held. And till now, the former President Yamin was actually imprisoned, and he was actually alleged to have participated in money laundering activities. And on that ground, the Supreme Court has barred him from contesting the next election. That is why the protest was not so much important. But now, since he has been acquitted of all the charges, he wants to fight for the presidency in the next election 2024. And such kind of protest and such kind of campaigns that is driven by India can actually help him in getting the desired vote of people who are supporting who are not supporting the India. That is also one reason why President Yamin have decided to participate and give voice to the protest. Second, if we try to understand that we understand the current Maldivian government is a pro-India government that wants to develop very good relationship with India, and former President Yamin, as we discussed, was more pro-China. But what about other parties that are present in the Maldives? There are several other political parties as well. So let us try to understand what is their stance on these particular issues. So first of all, as you know, the president office, that is current government, they say that just because mere presence of military personnel, some few military personnel of India are present in Maldives, it does not mean that foreign military presence is established in Maldives and the Maldives is in the control of Indian military. That is a totally invalid point, a flawed concept, and on that ground, we cannot or we should not try to destroy our relationship or make our relationship with India bad. At the same time, the second important party, that is Adalat party, they also have said that such kind of campaign and we can say protest that has been launched, India Out campaign that has been launched, is a kind of a politically motivated movement, and basically its main aim is to manipulate the public mindset so that they can be used as a vote banks and can be and should able to vote in the 2024 elections for the former President Yamin. At the same time, the second largest party of the Maldives, that is called as Jamhuri Party, they have also said that there is no such legal ground that exists in the Maldivian constitutions or Maldivian, we can say, law that can decide about the existence of Indian military presence in Maldives. That means what they are trying to say, that legally we cannot say that Indian military cannot be present in Maldives, and that is why such campaigns do not stand the ground of law or constitution. Not only that, even the brother of former President Yamin has also said that Maldivian population, Maldivian people, Maldivian public, as well as any other political parties should refrain from launching or being part of such a movement which can damage the relationship of Maldives with other countries, because they believe that Maldives is a very small island countries and Maldives depends on a lot of factors and a lot of sectors on all these countries, especially India, because it is the nearest large neighbor. So on that ground, we also have criticized such protest and campaign. Now that is overall viewpoint or views of different stakeholders, important stakeholders in Maldivian politics, and what they think about this political. So obviously, let us try to understand that what is the importance of Maldives to India, because Maldives is very small island countries, and so why a certain kind of political movement or a political changes that is going on in Maldives should be concerned for India. So we can divide the concern into three different parts. First, India have definitely an economic concern. The reason behind this is because Maldives is a 960-kilometer long country that is all the way going from north to south, and it acts as a wall. The country's border islands are such that it acts as a wall between north to south, and it is because of this geographical advantage they have, because they lie in a very strategic region as a control. If you look at the map of this particular region, we can see that here we have Maldives, and from here if you look at this, the important trading routes, that is Gulf of Aden is there, then we have the Persian Gulf is there. So most of the oil and gas that passes from Gulf of Aden and Gulf of Persian Gulf via Indian Ocean to the countries like India or to the Southeast Asia has to pass between this route lying between India and Maldives. Also, the other route is from south. So Maldives act as a junction point between both northern route and southern maritime route, passing between Gulf countries and the South Asia and Southeast Asian countries. So this is one reason why Maldives are very, very important. Apart from that, if we talk about the other reason why Maldives are important, is because India has invested a large amount of capital worth millions of dollars in Maldives, especially if we talk about big infrastructure projects and all those things. Not only that, India has also helped Maldives in terms of vaccine diplomacy, because Maldives was the first country where India sent its COVID vaccines in last year. Similarly, since Maldives is a very hot spot tourist destination, its economy is largely dependent on tourist population or incoming tourists, and because if you look at the current figure, we can see India as of now holds the largest number. India is the holds second position in terms of sending tourists to the Maldives. So tourist-based economy of Maldives is also supported largely by Indian tourists. And not only that, these are not only the recent development, but also historically, if you look at that, India has came to Maldives and has rescued it from severe problems many times before. For example, talk about Operation Cactus that was launched by Indian military in 1988 to subvert a coup that was launched by this Tamil militia of Sri Lanka to overthrow the government. That time Indian military came and helped the Maldivian government to restore their normalcy. At the same time, when this disastrous tsunami that has struck this Indian Ocean coast and countries, India was the first country to send tsunami relief materials and aid to the Maldives. Similarly, in 2014, there was a failure of desalination plant in Maldives. Because as we have discussed, Maldives is a island country and it has very less reservoir, almost negligible reservoir that can be categorized as freshwater reservoir. So basically for water uses, for drinking water purposes, Maldives depend on desalination plant which takes the water from the sea and then converts into fresh water. But desalination plant due to certain reason failed and Maldives had a shortage of fresh water, and that is when the Indian naval ships bring a large amount of fresh water to Maldives for the drinking water for their population. So these are the instances where we can see India has played a very important role in this helping Maldives in various instances before. However, in recent time there has been certain challenges that has came to India. First is that Maldives Democratic Party that is currently ruling the Maldives, they are very pro-Indian. They believe that they should have a strong relationship with the India, and currently President Solehi is the president of Maldives. However, within the Maldives Democratic Party itself, a kind of power struggle have started. This power struggle is between two different factions. One faction that support very strong relationship with India, another faction that is kind of more willing to have a pro-China stance. At the same time, there have also been instances of corruption and the problem of mismanagement of finances that also has caused power struggle within the MDP. Second problem India has to face or can face later on in Maldives is because of there has been rising cases of extremism in Maldives, and it is due to these rising extremism cases recently the Speaker of the Parliament of Maldives, Mohammad Nasheed, was attacked, and that is why his stance have also changed against the current government. And if these events start to unfold, then the current government can lose power in the upcoming elections. That can be disastrous for India. Apart from that, if the current government loses power, then obviously the other alternative with Maldivian population is the President Yamin, former President Yamin becoming the next president. And as we discussed, his major characteristic or his stance is mostly a pro-China stance. So that can cause India a problem in developing good relationship and better relations with the Maldives, and at the same time it will also give a certain edge to China to have a better relationship with. So in conclusion, what we can try to understand is that both countries, as said rightly by Minister of External Affairs, that both countries, whether it is a Maldives or it is India, are partners in development and partners in security. In both these spheres, both countries have no other option but to collaborate strongly. And this is why India-Maldives relationship historically also have been always close, cordial and multidimensional. However, recent regime instability in Maldives has posed some serious limitations. So that is something which India had to continuously wait and watch, and also try to develop such instances that India should not be seen as a force that is against the Maldivian population or acting against the interest of Maldivian population, but India is there simply to help the Maldivian population and its government. If that can be conveyed in a better way to the Maldivian population, then obviously, barring few instances, the India Out campaign can be rooted out. So that is all about this particular video. I hope you understood the concept regarding, or the whole issues regarding India Out campaign. We'll come soon again with another interesting topic. Till then, take care. Thank you very much.